So Ideal was formed by my great-grandfather. He was an engineer, sales guy, entrepreneur, true entrepreneur, and he was working for a company where he was calling on a lot of customers, and they were really struggling with maintaining these motors that were running these, big factories. And so he decided that he could come up with something better than what was out there. And he started it's something you wouldn't hear anymore, but it's called a commutator stone. And so he ended up coming up with a recipe for this commutator stone that was able to mount onto the motors, clean them without creating an extra mess by, degrading into these machines. So the challenge was that he didn't consider this a family-owned business, because although it was a family business and that he and his brother owned it, he didn't see it as a multi-generational family business because he had daughters. And it was a manufacturing company that was, in a space that didn't really just women weren't really involved in at all. And so it wasn't really until his daughters were married and he saw potential CEO successors in his sons-in-law that he decided this was a family-owned business, and then took a lot of action around estate planning and other activities so that the company could remain family-owned for many generations. Well, I think, just as a rule of thumb, family business equals conflict, challenges, and a lot of good things like values and supporting employees and helping communities, etc. But I don't think, even just if you look at a regular family system, there's going to be conflicts and challenges and, disagreements. The challenge that you have in a family business is that people don't really drift away unless there's a major liquidity event. So you think of, your great aunt who you never really liked, when your grandmother dies, usually a lot of those kind of, distant relations will kind of drift away, and maybe you'll touch base every once in a while, but you won't have that real strong connection. And in a family business system, it's super artificial, and everybody stays together regardless of, how distant, that relation is. So there's really kind of two issues that have to be addressed when you're looking at family business. One is this issue kind of a fundamental issue around, hurt feelings, generational challenges or issues, or is it really a conflict around a very specific point? And my experience is that most conflict, the majority of the conflict is really that generational conflict that you're really fighting around who was the preferred child, who was loved more, who got more money, who got, this, and it becomes, even you'll get 60, 70, 80-year-olds still feeling, feeling sad about the fact that, somebody was loved more than that, by their grandfather. So I would say, there's a lot of issues that really cannot be addressed because they're not really yours. They're not your generation's problems. So my philosophy really is that each generation has to really focus on cleaning house, making cleaning your emotional house and doing everything you can. What we've really looked at is trying to address those, very single issues. We have a very structured process on, how do you, you have an issue or concern you want the family council or family governance to address. We bring it forward, we'll do a task force, anybody can get involved, we'll become mini experts on it and resolve it. For those issues that are generational or system dynamic issues, which of course every family gets their style, one of the things that we've done is hired a licensed therapist to help our generation, it's a fourth generation, really try to address a lot of the system dynamics issues that have been passed down for now 4 or 5 generations. And I give our 4th generation a lot of credit because, and I'm very proud of the work this group is doing, because they are trying to address problems that started in that 2nd generation. And the reason they're motivated to do this and not just say, oh, this is how it is and we're going to pass it on, is that we don't want to pass this on to our children like this.